Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name's Nick and I want to thank you for stopping by the channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing another PoE2 GAMBA. In specific, we are going to be chancing 288 fork spears in an attempt to get some tangle tongues. They're not nearly as volatile as the heavy belts are, so I expect we're going to be getting quite a few. Regardless of how many we get, we're going to be quality, socketing, and valing every single one of them at the end of the video in hopes to hit something absolutely crazy. But before we get into all of this, let's talk a little bit about what the setup of this video is going to cost me. Let's get into the numbers really quick. Alright, so for our Tangletongue Gamba, what is this video going to cost me? For the fork spears and the chance orbs, we had 288 of each. The fork spears cost 13.5 exalted per, for a total of 3,888 exalted, or if we take the current ratio of 131 exalted to 1 divine orb, approximately 30 divines if we round up a little bit. The chance orbs, we had the same amount at a cost of 10 exalted per, for a total of 2,880 exalted, or approximately 22 divines, also rounded up a little bit, giving us a current total cost of 52 divines, or 6,768 exalted. We also have, in the future, the cost of the Omens of Corruption, the Artificer's Orbs, and the Whetstones are going to be using to quality, socket, and val all of the tangle tongues that we get. But I have absolutely no idea how many we're going to get, so the current cost of those is to be announced, leaving us with a total cost as of right now of 52 divines, which will unfortunately go up. So for a little additional information on our fork spears, there are currently two versions in game that are unique. The first one is the Solar Lance, and the second one is the Tangletongue. The Solar Lance, however, is not something we need to worry about, because it cannot be chanced. It can only come from the Trial Master in the Trials of Chaos, meaning we have no chance to get it, so we don't need to worry about it. What we do need to worry about is the Tangletongue. A Tangletongue that is identified and not qualitied, socketed, or valed sells for about 10 exalted, which is basically worthless at this point in time, based on the total investment in this video. So, what we're going to do, as I mentioned before, is quality, socket, and val, and we are chasing a good roll on this particular affix, the critical hit chance. If we roll anything above a 20% on our Tangletongues, we are looking at potentially really good money. If we get extremely lucky and we hit something higher than this number, like a 24.5 or even higher than that, we can sell our Tangletongue for well over 100 divines, which would be fantastic because it would mean immediate profit on this video. I think in total we're probably going to get anywhere from 20 to 30 Tangletongues. I do know they are more common than the Headhunter belts, but I just don't know how common. In addition to this, there is one more thing that we can get from this video. And that's your subscription. If you want me to make 1,337 divines, you should smash that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next clip. Alright, and with all that being said, it is time to get started. Let's see what we get from the 288 fork spears. How many Tangletongues? Let's go. We just got one on the first chance orb. That's pretty awesome. There's another one. And another one. And another one. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What is happening? What? These are like super common. My gosh. Wow. That's like what, like 2025 or maybe even more? I totally did not expect that. Let's do the second quad tab. I mean, holy crap. That's a ton. Oh my gosh, just 5 in a row. I mean, that's just nuts. Gee, I mean, just look at how many of these you get. This is crazy. Why couldn't the heavy belts be like this? Oh my god. Let me pause for 1 second and see how many of these I got. I mean, that's just a ton. I'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and I am genuinely shocked. I did not expect to get nearly this many Tangletongues. I think I said earlier in the video I expected like 20 to 30 or 30 to 40 or something, and that was my honest expectation. But we got 103. 103, which is approximately a 37 or 35.7% chance to hit a Tangletongue when you use a chance orb on a forked spear, which I think is great. You know, I love items like this that are much more common to get. I obviously feel some type of way over heavy belts and headhunter belts, having done 500 of those and gotten none. But it's really cool. You know, I'm happy to have gotten this much. I don't know if I was insanely lucky or, you know, actually rather unlucky. I'm assuming I was probably on the lucky side, at least a little bit. You know, it seems like I got quite a bit of these. But these ones on the side, too. These ones on the side rolled particularly well. If I were to theoretically just sell these, all of these on the side sell for a minimum of 3 divines apiece. This one down here actually closer to 6 or 7 because it rolled so close to the 20% critical hit chance and has a good intelligence roll on it as well out of 25. But that's not what we're here for. We are here to quality, socket, and val all of these. So I'm going to go ahead and quality and socket all of them off camera, and then I will be back for the Vaaling session. Wish us the best of luck. All right, we are back. Everything has been qualityed, socketed, but not valed. And I'll be honest, this took a long time to do, to get quality and sockets on all of these things. It also cost me a ton of gold. I started this video with 1.6 million gold. Now, I will be honest, I may have accidentally purchased, I don't know, maybe way too many blacksmith's whetstones, which is probably what considered or contributed to a large portion of my gold loss. However, we're going to put that aside. I only needed 647 of them. I may have purchased over 1,500, but you know what? That doesn't matter. We're about to make all that money back right now. Let's get into it. Wish us good luck. Here we go. Okay, seeing a decent amount of 2 sockets so far. Unfortunately, those are only going to be worth money if the actual critical hit chance on the original Tangletongue was a good roll. A lot of 2 sockets so far, which means a lot of spears aren't getting divined or re-rolled. All right, let me take our second inventory of Omens of Corruption out here. And activate them all. And let's get back to corrupting. And the last one. All right, I'm going to pause. I'm going to sort through these, and we'll see if we made any money. God, I hope so, because I am running low on divines. All right, we are back, and we have sorted through all of our Tangletongues. On the left side here, we have every Tangletongue which rolled with either an implicit, 2 sockets, or bad affixes that I think is going to be difficult to sell. I'll end up throwing these all in a dump tab and just waiting for people to come and purchase them. On the right side, however, we do have some decent, or actually potentially good, rolls on some of our Tangletongues. The best one that we got is this guy right here. Plus 22.21% critical hit chance, and if we take a look at the market, it looks like we're looking at a minimum of 16 divines. If I put him in for 14 or 15, I can get him sold pretty quickly. We also had these 2 right here that also rolled above 20% for their critical hit chance, which means for these 3 alone, we're looking at anywhere from 20 to maybe 25 divines, which means we are off to a great start. We also had some other Tangletongues down here that also rolled somewhat decently. A Tangletongue with a 19.33% critical hit chance and 2 sockets is worth a little bit of money as well. So with all of these guys down here, some of which also rolled nice implicits like the elemental damage with attacks, we have a chance to make some money on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the recording. I'll come back in maybe an hour, 2 or 3, and we'll see how much we've sold in that time, and we can get back to the final profit of this long gambling video. I'll see you guys in just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, do your research. Don't make the same mistake I did. I accidentally priced a spear that should be multiple divines for a single one. And, needless to say, a lot of people asked for it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to bring the profit portion into this video. It's been several hours since I stopped chancing the Tangletongues, and I've given them chances to sell. We've sold a majority of the really good ones. We actually have 2 up here that are decent that still haven't sold. And the ones that were not so good, I put in a dump tab here, and we've sold a few of them. And if I were to lower the price of this to, 30 or 20, even more of them would sell. But I think with the currency that we have a good stopping point because ultimately we have profited. I will get into the Google Sheets in just a second here to kind of get the breakdown on exactly how much money we did make, and thank God we actually did make some money. I was really hoping not to go 3 gambling videos in a row, just losing pretty much all of my currency, so super happy to say we profited. What I will say is I'm very surprised that the 2 Tangletongues that are still in this tab have not sold yet, and the reason I say that is because this is a decent roll. It's a 2-socket, 17.5%. It's cheapest on the market. And this one right here also has an amazing roll on one of the affixes. Just look at that. Please subscribe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the end of the video where I talk about exactly how much this video costed and what I profited from gambling the Fork Spears into the Tangletongues. I also added the Artificer's Orbs, the Corruption Omens, the Blacksmith Whetstones, and the Val Orbs to my total cost, which I have converted to decimal points to make it as honest and accurate as possible. The total cost that we had for this video was 57.28 divines, or approximately 7,400 or 7,504 Exalted Orbs. For our profit, we have 74 unsold Tangletongues, which I expect to sell for at least 10 Exalted apiece, bringing us to 5.65 additional divines from the Tangletongues that have not sold. And the ones that we did sell, we got 64 divines from, bringing our total to 70 or so, and our profit to 12 divines, or approximately 1,620 Exalted, which means, thank God, we actually profited. I'm super happy to have not had a complete loss 3 videos in a row. And, with all that being said, if you were happy to see that or you enjoyed watching this video, please feel free to leave a like, leave a comment, and if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe. I would genuinely appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.